was saying that I was just referencing that it's possible that so twins each time in my life that I've had a couple experiences in my life that were uncanny, like the actual the timing and coincidence of it would be it would actually make a person have faith. It would make a person have faith in uh a higher order of the cause at play in our experiences. And each time that that happened to me, it was somewhere attendant of actual living twins when that had happened. One is that a lot of my real formative experience, a lot of the deepest experiences that I've had. I remember one time, so I was playing basketball. I played basketball a lot as a young person, and I was in the Southwest at a basketball court, and I was out there playing, and then out of nowhere, somebody just walked into my life, like somebody a boy. So when I was young, I was always looking for competition. Like that's how you know you're about something, is that when you enjoy and you relish competition, that's when you're really into something. But you don't flinch or run from the competition, but you embrace it and you seek it out. That means you're really into something, because you really are in the habit and the inclination to get better, and it requires challenge to get better. But I was doing that, and somebody just walked into my life out of nowhere. A guy walked up onto a kid, a boy my same age, maybe just a little bit older. Perfect competition. When you're a boy who likes basketball, there's almost nothing. So I enjoyed girls. I always loved girls when I was in my life, especially at that age. That's one of the reasons I enjoyed basketball, because I got attention from girls that I thought about when I was at school and away from school. I thought about these girls and how sports would bring attention to them, or bring me attention around them potentially. And that's part of how I engage with the sport of basketball. But one thing that was almost as beautiful as girls would be another boy that would be perfect competition, that was into basketball like I am. When you're really deeply into basketball, basketball is beautiful, and people and things that are about basketball is beautiful. All like NBA players, but even your peers that are really about basketball, because they're into it. They're into the same thing as you are, and it's deep how it goes. It's certain things you get into it, and it's deeper than you can put into words. I'm appreciating now that motorcycles is something like that. Motorcycles spoke to me when I was young, and now I'm realizing that it's deep. And when I experience things, I realize that it may be multiple iterations of this life, and it's not the first time, even though doing for what in linear time would be the first time. If something is really who you are and what you will amount to be, you can, if you appreciate that things are not necessarily straightforward, up, down, left, or right, because there's actually no straight down, up, down, left, or right for all we have a reference. I was saying in this video how egregious it is for another adult to tell you what to think or do. So I would imagine that a lot of people that would tell me what to think or do would say that if you look up at the sky, you're looking straight up. But for all we know, with any reference, we could be looking straight down and be on the bottom of the earth, even though we're in the northern hemisphere, because there's no absolute directions according to Arthur Avalon: east, west, up, down, what have you, before, after, antecedent, during. There's no experience of any meaning without a reference. What meaning have you without a reference to refer to, for meaning? How so you're so sure about where you are standing in space and time? Turn all the lights out into pitch black darkness. How sure of you of your position without a reference, therefore? But but this boy walked into my life who was perfect competition, and really it was really deep how about basketball we were. But he wasn't entirely as in love with basketball as I was, but he was still familiar with basketball to be good competition. But some of my experiences around that time still are with me. That was a very deep summer. That was like the summer of '97. Some of the experiences that I had there, a lot around basketball, but also moving away from where I grew up at, was very deep to me, intimate, deep. Some of the media and music, like that was the summer of the film The Men in Black. I still hear that song, Men in Black, and I still feel that summer when I hear that song, and as though I still experience that summer when I hear the song The Men in Black, the summer of '97, and some of the crushes that I would have at that time, different girls that liked me, different girls that I liked at school that would have nothing to do with me, that girls that lived where I lived had friendships with that I liked. And then, but that I had been attended by that twin like that, because that boy had a twin who was also good at basketball. And they were actually moving into that neighborhood that summer that we had of 97 as though they were twins, being twins. Then a few years later, when I was at the end of middle school, I had an opportunity to visit another one of my friends that was part of that group who had a set of fraternal sisters. So they were twin sisters, but they were fraternal twin sisters. And then when I went to visit him, his friend that he had so he was a couple years older than me. He was a upper, not an upperclassman, but he was like at least a sophomore in high school, and he had a friend who was a upperclassman in high school who was a little bit too cool to be hanging out with him, because his friend was like an all-star on the football team, like a safety that would do like a lot of interceptions at football, like a cool dude. And then his girlfriend was the sister, a couple years older than me, my friend's age, but not the upperclassman's age, but still like they were. So I come into town, and like we're driving to my friend's house. He's like, yeah, man, so like a lot of things have changed since you've been here, but there's still some bullshit around racism. So like my friend, man, he's this badass, man. We be hanging out and stuff, but he was in that park over there that we're driving past, because my friend already had a car at that point, and he was really cool. He was like, yeah, man, my friend was over there, and he was kicking it with his old girl, and they were doing their thing. And then some racist motherfuckers came by, man. That was fucked up, man. But then I found out a couple days later that that actual friend that he was talking about, he would bring him around to hang out with me, and his girlfriend was the older sister, as beautiful but still the sister of my deepest crush in elementary school. That was like the girl that loved to hate me. And so I had an opportunity to cross paths with her, visiting that town where I was always attracted to that. I think that you're connected to a place around somewhere around the females, that because men, we're drawn to females in a deep way that I wanted to speak a little bit about in this video. But I think that people, but especially females, they tie us to a land, because what do you really feel of living in life and miss of living in life different than females, not only females but largely around females, and that ties you to a land. So I was still missing that place and called there, but I had no idea in hell that I would come across that girl that had been the crush of my elementary school, and have an opportunity to actually visit her. So you live somewhere, you have a crush on someone all of elementary, you move far the hell away, you have contact with some people, you grow up, but you have no direct connection to that person, that the one person that means the most to you about that place in time and space. That person, you go back out there, and for whatever the hell reason, the actual friend of your real friend is dating their sister, and you actually come to be close enough to touch them. That's a significant degree of like coincidence. And I'm not saying that is more significant than just being a synchronicity, but it was attended by a twin, also a living twin, these fraternal twins. Then I had I had a family member who had a friend who had a twin, and that person, her birthday was the exact same day as my mother. And then I got to know her, and I had experiences that would give me confidence, and lead me into the line of work that I do, in having the confidence to approach being a professional. So that is another and also at that time I was going through very difficult circumstance that would be difficult to convey in a public setting. And I think that something of my experience with that friend of a family member who shared the same birthday, the experience and some of the experiences that I had, but also the time that I had around them, it would alter my comings and goings, and my actual timing in life. That made me I was in the midst of some very difficult circumstances, but I experienced those circumstances and came through them on a different timing and footing than I would have. That was like leading into the pandemic, than I would have had I not met that person. So that person had a bearing on me, but also potentially within my development and my actual fortune and life outcomes and opportunities, again, had been attended by the presence of twins, living twins. But I think that might be an exception, is when twins actually take form, but that